One question I hear a lot about the classic dot voting technique, where we provide a set number of dots to people and allow them to use those dots to vote on a set of items, comes down to execution. How many dots? Well, even though the concept of dot voting is deceivingly simple, there's actually quite a bit of nuance at play. So there's no magic number when it comes to allocating these dots. Think about it like this. I could ask an architect, how many doors should a building have? Well, you're gonna need at least one, but it's really not that straightforward, right? You've got to look at the style, the surroundings, and the people who are going to use that building to answer the question. Same with this exercise. But here are a couple ways to think about it. One option is to use a loose equation to land at the number of dots that's dependent on the number of options being voted upon. A classic rule of thumb is in 3, which says that you should take the total number of options and just divide by 3. So if I had 6 options to vote on, 6 divided by 3 is 2. Each person gets 2 dots. Another similar guideline is the 80-20 rule. If we follow this approach, we take the total number of options and divide by 5, or 20%, and that will lead you to your number. So if I have 20 items, 20 divided by 5 is 4. Each person gets 4 votes. Another option is just remove the math and use an absolute number. Top 3 is a method that fits here. Each person gets 3 dots regardless, and they distribute them as they please. They can put all their dots on one item, they can put 2 on one item and 1 on another, or all their dots across different items. Honestly, this tends to be the approach I generally use because it's straightforward and it's pretty effective. And when I'm using dot voting, my goal is typically to get a sense of alignment and continue the discussion, not to just pick one top winner and move on. If there are a lot of items, say more than 20, I'll use a top 5 approach, which is executed the same way. If you want to get a bit more nuanced, you can introduce some weighting into the absolute number approach. This is the case with the 3-2-1 approach. Here, each person gets 6 dots, but they don't have the same freedom in distribution. We direct them to put 3 dots on the most important item, 2 on the second most important item, and 1 on the third most important item. With the top 3 approach, it's sometimes hard to tell if prioritized items represent broad general alignment because a lot of people have given a dot to something, or a really passionate minority where maybe 1 or 2 people gave all of their dots to one item. The 3-2-1 approach can mitigate that issue. Again, there's no magic number, but based on experience, it's safe to say that for most situations, somewhere between 3 and 6 dots is appropriate and safe. Rather than rely on a hard rule though, use your judgment. Look at the building, right? Consider the number of choices, the complexity of those choices, your group size, and your goal to get your answer.
Thanks for watching. If you want to see more of our UX videos, take a look at these over here and consider subscribing to our channel. On our website, nngroup.com, you can access our free library of over 2,000 articles. You can also register for one of our virtual UX conferences that offer live hands-on UX training.